Alright, alright. Beck's got a echo here with CSGO agenda, and I'm just gonna go off the top of my head some stuff about Contra. Alright, let's see if that gets rid of them, or if they're just gonna respawn again. They're gonna respawn again. I don't know why. It's so annoying. Just gonna turn the volume down so you can hear me. Alright, so I'm gonna do off the top of my head some stuff about T-side. The CT side rotation is a little bit more tricky, and through the evolution of the game, I think that the rotations changed a little bit on CT side. So mostly a lot of the stuff T side's the same as it's been. Well, I don't know, basically since Source at least. Some of the basic meta of the gameplay in the map anyway. So I went over all the spots on the map. When you're running up the ramp here, you want to basically run from this side up to that side so that you don't get picked from mid. So you want to try to hug this left wall there as fast as you can. So, but you don't want to cross this way, because even then they can just see like the top of your head. So you want to just run this way and then get up here. And if you're going to be taking Nana or Banana, basically depending on how they're playing it, whether they're playing it pushed up or whether they're playing back in B, it's basically two pretty much. There's, you know, you can play like passive aggressive where you push up and fall back, but then basically that's playing pushed up. So they're either utilizing the space car Banana or they're not. And if they're not, then you may as well go ahead and just take up some of that space with at least your lurker. If not, two people playing and together in a 2-1-2. So the basic default setup on T side is a 2-1-2. Two people posted Banana, one person posted mid, and two people working up alt. So generally speaking, I'm going to just go over what the different roles are on that spot. So the first person coming up here wants to probably nade the car Nana if they're playing pushed up. Then you want to get a flash over the wall here if you're going to push up with your other teammate. If they're playing like really aggressive here, then you guys may need to post up like here, the crossfire, or one behind the wall here. Like, just take your time working your way up so that you're not taking too much damage. You need to get over here. You need to clear the sandbag skier while the other guy comes up, so like you're working together in tandem. And so you clear this angle, and then this is a really dangerous angle to peek, so a lot of times I'll let the other guy peek that angle by either coming here, sandbags, and just clearing this fast if they're not peeking it, and trying to get over there. Although that's dangerous, because if they have an op on coffins or spindle, I could get picked doing that. But if I get up there pretty fast, I like to I'll get a little bit more peeky, because I just like wanna spot them. But you know, again, you're working in tandem with somebody else. So if I'm taking the point, I'm being the spotter. I'm flashing, I'm nading, I'm flashing, I'm pushing up, I'm clearing this spot, and letting this other guy come and get into position here. Then while he's watching this angle, I can cross over essentially into this angle here. And then we can start clearing. These other angles. But basically, you know, you don't really need to push up much farther than this when you're working in the 2-1-2, because until you have the rest of your team. So at this point, you know, if they pushed up and we killed them both, we'd say, you know, we killed two at B, and then, you know, waiting for the rotation, waiting to regroup. So maybe we'll go back with the bomb, or, you know, depending on what the the regroup strategy is, or what the other side of the map is doing. So the tricky part is coordinating between the two groups of two, the two pairs of two, and the mid player. And it becomes, you know, really difficult because that mid player can become like very isolated out, but their role is really imperative. So on this map, you always want to have somebody watching mid, even if you're not an opper. You don't have to be playing these like basic, you know, out in the open spots that oppers play. As a mid player, you can be again remember, when you're low on this ramp, they can just see the top of your head and it's an easy shot for them. So you can play mid from here, and you don't have to peek mid. You don't have to peek them actually picking mid. You're just holding the push alt mid. So like if the CTs run down mid and try to push alt, you're able to at least call it. If not, kill them. Sometimes you don't even want to go for the kill because maybe your guys, you know, they're pushing up banana. So you want to just be able to call that, and then that way your guys alternate mid, alt mid, are not being caught off guard. So as a mid player, you got to be aware of these angles. And then one of the things that you can do to help your alt players, or if your banana players fall back and then decide to go A, you can throw a smoke on banana here so that when they rotate, they're forced to rotate safe. They don't want to push the smoke. The other thing is, from here in a safe way, you can throw a smoke from mid. I kind of, oh yeah, it works, but it could be better. But you can also utilize your nades from here mid. You can get in position here to hold the push mid. But basically, so the mid player, you're not really actually trying to push up mid at all, because that's really what your alt players are going to be doing. So the mid player's job is to coordinate between the pairs of Nana and apartments. So apartments balcony is like really far away. So like if you get the kill alt, and you know, oftentimes that is the case. Either you go alt, you either become the entry or you become the lurker. So depending on, like, if your team turns around and runs the other way, you become the lurker. But if they decide to go with you, you're the entry. So if I'm running up alt, and a lot of times, you know, it's good to nade the boiler there if they're pushing up. But anyway, I'm just gonna ignore these guys. I'm gonna run up. Oh shit! What am I doing? Alright, I want to show you, there's two people going alt, so these are the spots. So if you're going to play back alt, you know, you want to play up on the bridge, or you want to play here, you're going to play a crossfire with the two different people. So one holds the window push while the other pushes up alt, and so that way you don't have to go through apartments. So yeah, I'll just show you what I do. Okay, I'm going to be the alt mid guy right now. I'm going to nade the boiler. A lot of times I'll smoke off here. Alright, I don't want the bomb with me when I'm doing this, but I'm not going to drop it for these guys. So basically the alt guy is going to come up here. I'm really slowly, I'm walking, I'm clearing everything. I very carefully check the boiler. And then my other alt guy is going to be coming up T-stairs. You know, sometimes if they're opping, this will come and peek this together if they're pushed up in the halls. You know, so we're communicating to each other. Then I'm going to slow work down here. I'm going to see if I can get an easy pick mid if they're pushed up mid. And then, you know, if we're all working picks at this point. So the 2-1-2 is working picks. So like, if they get a pick banana and they start working at banana, we may just, if they're not peeking here, just like quickly fall off and go rotate banana. If we're, you know, the idea is that, you know, if nobody gets a pick, if all the CTs are just playing their safety spots or whatever, that we're then slowly taking up as much space on the map as possible. So like, say your alt guy, your other alt guy has pushed all the way up here, and just post up like right here. Like really, so you're in like a position where if they do push, they do peek, you're going to be able to get that pick. Okay, and we're just waiting. So there's one guy there, and then I'm here, and I'm like, you know, barely peeking mid, or if they're played back, this is again like even a really dangerous angle to pick that, peek that. So I'm gonna wait for my teammates to do that. But a lot of times I'll play in the balcony room there, just spotting boiler. So I'm waiting for them to push into boiler and just get bored and go peek alt. And so you have 2 posted up banana, and again, they're not taking B, they're just getting spread out on the map as best as possible. So if they're pushing down banana, then you need to nade and flash it. If they're not, you can just push up. Alright, and then just get... Oops. Take as much space on the map as possible. So, you know, if you can't get pushed up there, then just holding this angle here with your other teammate, holding this angle over here, that works too. And then so everybody just posts up, and they're waiting for them to peek, and then getting a pick, and then regrouping and deciding what we're gonna do. Okay, so I've reiterated this strat a couple times now, the 2-1-2. I've gone over pretty much, I think, the 2 banana spots. So, you know, one guy's takes the point and they're throwing the nades. The other guy posts up and watches, you know, the guy in the front clears the sandbags. The next guy posts up and watches CT. Mid can play passive, or pick, or if they're aggressive mid, you may want to pick mid. But mid can play passive, and their job is just to call the alt push to the alternate players, to the alt mid players, the apartment players, or to coordinate the regrouping between the 2. So it's like if one gets a pick, so like if your apartment's balcony and that guy you set up, and then that guy just decides to peek and you kill him, we need to act right away. So if I'm over in banana and I'm really focused, like there's like 2 guys in sight and I'm posted up there and I'm waiting to hear him rotate on that pick or whatever, like, you know, sometimes I'm not going to pay attention so much that my teammate got that kill. So it's like up that point in time for like the mid player to kind of like say like, okay, start falling back off banana, or maybe I'm going to come to you and we should push through CT. I'm not even going to say that there's like a right or wrong way, especially on this map, because like I said, there's so many different strategies. So anyway, so this is a 2-1-2 pick strat. Like I said, going up alt, sometimes you're the entry and other times you become the lurker. So like you want to think of it like, and this is straight up like how it was like described to me at one point in time. You want to think of it like all of your players have strings tied to you, okay? So like all of these bots, and when they go and they run into different spots, see how I'm on the outside of the map? So even though there's no players in between me and them, we have a line of communication, and as we're pushing up here, you know, obviously they got contact there, but so you always want to have someone on the outsides of the map. So like where I'm at right here would be on the outside of the map. This is like the far alt player. This person would be the person that commits to the A site or becomes the lurker, if that's the strategy to lurk. A lot of times, like I said, people will just like just leave A and go banana really fast. Sometimes it's okay to like, you know, leave a lurker, because if like you've done that a bunch of times and then you know, you think they're gonna chase you, it's a good time to just, you know, leave a lurker there for a little bit to pick up some of the rotation. For this reason, the outside players never want to have the bomb. on this map. So if you're going committed alt, like I said, that's the committed alt player. So really, you have 2 and 2. You have 2 guys going alt. I'm the committed alt player, and then there's the alt mid player, who's going to be probably going up this way, right? So the committed player goes that way. The alt mid player is going to work up this way. If the mid player calls that they're pushing down mid, this alt mid player is going to turn around and work with the mid player. And actually, oftentimes, they will continuously work with the mid player. So whether they're in the boiler, even like baiting the boiler for the mid player to get the pick, or there's many different combinations of how that works. So really, the committed alt player tends to become a pretty independent player. So therefore, it's like really good to know like all your angles. Here, 250. And then also just not to overcommit. So, like if they're playing push up or there's a potential that they could push up and kill you, like basically as long as your alt mid player's down here, like just, you don't even really have to be in control of what's going on up here. You want to do that together. So like as they're jumping window, you want to come up and peek. Uh-oh, he's defusing. Alright, so counter strategy, I'm not going to talk, like I said, much about it, but it does become very complicated on this map because you want to be really much more aggressive in some ways sometimes in order to get results. And the same thing can work T side too. So doing an aggressive mid where you drop your nano players. Right, so we're not 2 and 2 anymore. We drop your nano players, and those 2 people are gonna work up mid with you, whether they go alt mid or they come this way. You're gonna smoke off the chokehold here to deter them from pushing up behind you. And you can have somebody hold from this spot, holding the mid push, holding the banana push if they do decide to push through that smoke. But really, doing a strategy like this, you're kind of doing a strategy like this when you don't think that they're going to be pushing. So like a lot of teams are playing like really passive banana, where they're like camping out the site. They're playing CT and oranges like every round or whatever, or maybe pushing up car like a little bit, but they're not pushing to flank. And this is where basically, like I'm saying, like if you're not playing aggressive enough CT side, then you're giving the T's all this space to be able to do all this stuff. So if they're not pushing, they're not being aggressive banana, then you just smoke it off and you don't have to worry about it. Just take all your players and go split, smoke it, flash it. You can go up truck side and apartments, or you can go up lane, or sorry, you can go up, arch, and then you can, basically if you smoke CT, then that's going to be an A strat. That's going to be a 100% A take, where people go alt mid to balcony. If you're going to do a B split working at mid, then you're going to have your 2 banana players posted up banana, preferably as far up as they can get without getting hurt, just ready to take the site, ready to flash in for the guys who are going to be running up mid and going CT. Properly utilizing mid, though, is really important. And again, so there's a lot of CTs. There are people that play CT on this map that are like way overly peaky mid. And then, there's people that won't even peek it ever once. So it's basically, a lot of that's different team style play. Like personally, I'm much. I guess I shouldn't even really speak from whatever my fucking role is. It doesn't necessarily matter, but I guess it's good to just give it as an example. So personally, I'm a really aggressive player. I'm a aggressive rifler, and I usually play lane, and a lot of times we'll push up and not peek mid, but push up alt, like from here with my alt player or with my apartment player. And I forgot what I was saying. Okay, so personally, I play really aggressive at the beginning of the round. But then, like, if it gets down, like, okay, I got just recently in a match I was playing on here, I got the pick here, alt, and then I did damage to the other guy. And I knew it was probably likely going to be an A take. And my point is that if I fall back to the pit, at that point in time, I have pretty much like 100% more chance of defeating them, if that makes sense. So then I do staying pushed up, because if I stay pushed up, I'll probably be able to, like, I've taken some damage from the pick that I already got, so I might be able to finish off the other guy. I might be able to, like, you know, do damage, but I'm definitely gonna die. If I play back, if I fall back into the pit, I call to my team. Obviously, they see I got a pick. I can, if I can throw a smoke properly, smoke that off, and just like infamous clutches here from the pit. So, but that's me. I'm a pit player, so you know it's different with different people. But if basically, as far as like a passive aggressive playstyle, like that's what works for me. But depending on what they're doing, is the point is T side, you want to exploit that. So you can get people pushed up banana easily, and they're posted up there ready, and say they have a really steady like a opper from this side, and a really strong pit player who is doing just like what I was talking about, like shutting you guys down. So what you do at that point in time would be to run like a B split. You know, if the B takes aren't working, then you just, you know, use the fact that they're playing back pit against them by, like, you know, smoking off the boiler, and then flashing all, you know, coming up here together, clearing all these spots together, and then just going CT. The other guys are pushed up banana, so they know the guys are playing back CT. You know they're in the site at this point in time. You just have them pinched there, so it works pretty good. But you know, if they're playing really aggressive banana, then that strategy isn't going to work as much. So yeah, I don't want to have this video last for ages. And like I said, I don't really want to talk about CT side. I just want to talk a little bit about the gameplay. So playing T side on a team versus playing T side on a pug is very, very, very different. And depending on what kind of player you are, it may be easier or harder for you. But as a really communicative player, like and like someone who likes to play with a lot of teamwork, it's much more difficult to play in a pug. Just trying to get people to communicate and stuff like that. Like, so people want to run and gun. Die! The important thing is, we'll just let the bots play. The important thing is to adapt. You know, it's really frustrating. I mean, that's like the last fucking thing I want to hear too. You know, sometimes it's just like, you know, like, oh, well, they're doing this gay shit, so why should I have to adapt to their playing around with negevs or whatever? But you, you know, to counter strat their strategy. Oh my god, this bot. You then use, you know, their tactics against them. So, oh, my teammate Cuddles. I have 1 HP. Let's hope he doesn't shoot back. Alright, when he's done with this, I'll maybe make some more notes about some more detailed strats. I don't know, like the solid A take with smokes and stuff like that. But you know, a lot of teams are like, depending on what team you're playing on, they're gonna have a different way of doing it anyway. You know, it's like standing alt there and throwing smokes over for arch side, things like that. So you're not always having to bank your smokes on this map. That's kind of huge too. Just being able to do your nades like up over these walls. Banking them is good too, but you just, you know, want to be, sometimes you can overexpose yourself trying to throw nades. So I'm a little nade whore, so I know all about that. Especially I like to play with oppers too, and that's pretty dangerous. But it's good though, because it makes it so, you know, like I don't fear oppers. Like, I kill them all the time, but that's only because I go up against them all the time. And I think that's fun. That's always been fun. Like, even in like some of my old videos, like you have me like creeping up on Dust 2, like on B, and just like running up and glocking an upper in the face, and it's just fun, you know, because like, they're lurking around and posted up. Like, that's part of the fun of having an op, and I would just try to, you know, just disrupt that by like just getting past their spot, you know, their detections, and running through smokes or whatever, flashing and just like popping up and being like, surprise. Alright, good games. Like, share, subscribe, please. Follow all and stuff. And GG's.